Hey everyone, welcome to Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast. This podcast is all about farmers markets, how to increase your market business success while providing people with fresh food. Farmers markets are essential. Whether you're a farmers market manager or a small farmer or food maker selling at farmers markets, you have found just the right podcast. This week, we're joined by our Tent Talk friend, farmers market royalty, cookie maven, vegan business mogul, and founder of Maya's Cookies, Maya Madsen. Hey everyone, I'm one of your hosts, Bridget Myers. I'm a longtime farmers market manager and the education coordinator at Farmers Market Pros.
And I'm Kat Fields-White, Director of San Diego Markets, still an active farmers market manager and market consultant, founder of Farmers Market Pros, and host of Intense, the Farmers Market Conference, and the Farmers Market Pros community.
And I'm Justine Marzoni-Mead, Tent Talk producer, marketing director for Farmers Market Pros, and logistics coordinator for the Intense, the Farmers Market Conference.
Ooh, coming right up.
Woohoo!
Early bird tickets on sale now.
Yeah, get those tickets.
Clock is ticking.
Today's episode of Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast, is supported by Square, helping small farmers, food makers, crafters, and market managers increase their incomes by making it easy to process credit and debit card sales on the street and in the tents. We use Square ourselves, both for selling shopping bags and T-shirts at our market info booths and for invoicing farmers and vendors online for space fees. The income you generate appears in your bank account promptly, just like magic, without spending time or money on end-of-day closeouts. Square's user-friendly system makes it easy to track inventory and payroll and generate clear reports. For more information on reducing stress and increasing your income with Square, click their logo on the resource page at farmersmarketpros.com.
Well, welcome back to Tent Talk, everybody. Today we are chatting with the officially unofficial fourth host of this podcast, the Maya behind Maya's Cookies. As promised, Maya is going to spill the tea on what she's been up to, pitching her cookies on the Home Shopping Network, reeling in an ex-NBA star investor, opening her second brick-and-mortar location, and still maintaining a presence at farmers markets and events. Superstar.
Woohoo!
Welcome to Tent Talk. To our fourth host, Maya.
Thank you. I feel like I need a tagline. I'll think of my tagline for next time I'm on with you guys. Thank you for that awesome intro.
We'll just pop you in the intro part, and we won't even say anything, and then we'll just start chatting.
Perfect.
Added a host.
Welcome back. We've missed you. We haven't had you on the podcast
I
in a little while.
Yeah.
We haven't had her since like Q4 last year because I remember it was like the holiday season and she was in like a couple seconds left on the clock shooting in that like final quarter of the year. It was go time.
Yeah.
I remember she was like in the zone.
Making the cookie boxes.
That's right.
Doing all the holiday stuff.
I love that stuff.
Yes, I've been seeing your husband a lot at the markets, early morning, setting up.
Yes, he's been helping out as per usual.
Yes, the usual.
We love seeing him in the morning.
I know.
He's very chill really early
He
in
is
the morning.
he's the most chill person ever, and he's always there. He's one of like the early vendors, you know, and sometimes some of the early vendors are a little stressed. So he's always just like, good morning, just getting everything ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, those vendors are nice when it's like, it'll calm me down a little bit before my day gets going. So
Right. And my husband's a morning person because his job is he works during Asia time during the day. So he's used to being up super early. So he has all this energy at that time.
Well,
So
that's good that he married a baker.
volunteers.
yeah.
Right.
That explains a lot to me. That explains a lot about him.
Yes. He is very awake and
He's
just
very awake, yeah.
ready to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's 5 a.m., so I'm getting my coffee.
Yep,
Oh,
yep,
man.
yep.
Well, you have so much going on, so much going on. So you're still popping your tent at the farmer's market, or your husband is, and vegan
Always.
events. Yes, and we love that you find that a valuable piece of your operation. What kind of markets and events are on your schedule nowadays, just to catch everybody up?
Currently, we do 2 major markets per week and an occasional festival. And I say occasional because we had prepaid for a lot of festivals that were canceled during COVID, so they were getting rescheduled and we were popping back onto the festival scene. And yeah, so just a festival, maybe 1 per quarter.
That's
good.
nice.
It seems manageable.
Yeah,
That's
Like
a nice
when you
level.
start like doing farmers markets and then splitting your time. Like there was a time where me and Dave were doing separate markets or like separate events. I would do the special events, he'd do the markets.
Yeah.
And it just got like wild. So I feel like once a quarter is a really good amount of time to have a presence. People know they
Keep
can
you
find
top
you.
of mind still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't want to overschedule my staff knowing that our second location was about to open. So we did not schedule any festivals for the past 3 to 4 months, thinking that we were supposed to be open 3 or 4 months ago. So that was lost revenue.
What? Construction took longer than expected? That never happened.
Shocked.
Way
Shocked.
longer. Yep.
Oh,
So,
no.
Wow.
Well, okay, let's back up before we talk about your location, which Justine's going to ask you about in a minute. Let's talk about the Home Shopping Network experience.
Because we've had to wait a while to get the dirt on
Yeah.
this. I mean, we've been waiting, or have her spill the tea. We've been waiting a while on that.
So what was that experience like? Tell us how that came about.
That experience is amazing. So I want to start by saying that it was on my business plan back 2015, back when I started with you guys at the Vendor 101 course. That was one of my goals. So
Of course it was.
Wow.
Mine
Mine is playing the most insane long game.
I want to be the Qualcomm
Yeah.
of cookies, and I want to be on the Home Shopping Network.
Oh my gosh. I want to see that list. Okay. Yes.
So this was on my original plan right from the get-go. So I've been taking steps with my business all along to reach my goals, and that was one of the goals. So the opportunity presented itself, and since that was one of my goals, I was able to grab that opportunity. So yes, we got an email from the buyers of Home Shopping Network in November. Of course, that's my busiest season, so it took us a couple weeks to return that email. So I was kicking myself for that, and I thought I maybe lost an opportunity, but they found us. And I say I was taking steps to get there, meaning everything I was doing when I started this business were little steps towards building my brand and building the product and building my team so that we can one day attract a buyer from Home Shopping Network. So I'm proud that they found us. So yeah, they found us, asked if we were interested. I said, absolutely. And then the ball started rolling from there. I had to sign up to be one of their vendors. So I have 4 different teams. I have a quality assurance team. I have a buying team. I have an on-set team, and I have an on-air training coach.
Wow.
So yeah. So it took from December to my first air date was in April, I believe. So all of that was them prepping me and teaching me how to be an on-air guest, how to be a vendor, going through all the quality assurance paperwork. There was a lot to it. So I will unpackage all of that. So I don't even know where to start because it's a lot. And my e-commerce manager, Shelly, she had to learn, a new version of e-commerce because she had to operate under their system. So she had to learn a whole new program as well. So there's a lot. So just start throwing questions at me. I'm an open book. I want to share info.
Well, so are you on once or are you on over and over on Home Shopping Network? I think I have to admit I am not a Home Shopping Network viewer. So how does this work? Are you now a regular fixture on there? Or do you go on once? Do you go on once a month?
Yes.
What's that look like?
So what that looks like, I am a certified registered vendor. So that means that if I don't already have the dates blacked out on their calendar, because you have to black out dates if you need time off for the whole year, then they can call me up at any point and say, we'd like to feature your item on this date. And yeah, that's how it works.
Wow. So you're like on call.
Sort of, but they give you sufficient notice. And it's very seasonal. You can predict. So for instance, Christmas in July, I knew that they were probably going to have me on in July, and my buying team and my on-air team, they let me know ahead of time. Like, we're probably going to schedule you during this month or on this date because of this. So right now, I don't have any dates in the next month, but they could send me an email tomorrow and say, are you available on this date? We'd like to schedule you. And my answer is always yes.
Wow. Well, this is a question that we had for you, and we could talk more about Kat's philosophy of having things that you say no to. But like, how do you determine, both for something big like Home Shopping Network or other like media appearances, how do you like calculate like when you should say yes? Like, do you have like a ROI thing that you're like, okay, what am I going to get back from this? Or how much time do I have to spend on this? So how do you determine when you should say yes to stuff?
Well, I have my in-house marketing team, and they field all those inquiries. So they sort of are the first filter, and they will get the inquiry, they will filter it out and present it to me if they think it's something that we should participate in. And being a vegan business, being Black owned, being female, there are a lot of things I have to consider and say, that align with my values and my brand values. But with that being said, free press is great press because it's free. And we do have a detailed media list every time we do get a request for a media appearance or, an article, anything. We put that person on our contact list. And we have a huge list of all those people, whether we did it or not. And every time we do something, we will send that media list a email saying, guess what? Here's what's coming up at Maya's Cookies. Here's what we're doing. And what that then does is some of them will bite at that and they'll ask us for an interview, or they're interested in whatever we're doing. And, will ask us to be on their TV show or on their podcast, and that's free. So to answer your question, I just have to see if it aligns with our values of the brand, what we're trying to do. If we have the time for it, I always have the time for it, especially if it's free. I say yes. If it's something right now, it's our slow season and we're getting ready for holiday. So we're getting ready to send out our holiday media kits. But if I get any bites on that early, then I'm going to say yes, because it's going to pay off later. So I guess I can't really answer that question in one concise answer, Kat.
Well, I guess, and your answer actually leads me to another question, which is, do you consider Home Shopping Network then more of a marketing investment in time, or is it actually a different income stream? Do you sell a lot of things through Home Shopping Network? Do they take a big cut off the top? Is your net lower on that? So what's the actual, do you consider this an income or a marketing thing?
Both.
Okay.
So having a partner such as Home Shopping Network that believes in my product and my brand elevates my brand for future investors, for future anything. They see that pedigree of Home Shopping Network and say, oh, let me take another look. And it's also, they have 8 million viewers. So that's 8 million more eyes on my product, on my platform. So yes, I consider it both. I cannot discuss the terms of my agreement with them, but basically we came to an agreement on a product offering and what the pricing is for that agreement and the terms. And they may call and say, we'd like to have you on air for National, Women's Business Month. We'd like to feature your brand. And can you please set aside, X amount of units for this appearance? So all that's pre-negotiated ahead of time. And it's both marketing and it is definitely sales. So it's a little bit of both.
So without disclosing percentages and stuff, you are seeing a net income and an increase in sales by doing this. It's not just a marketing.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Cool.
So you set aside units ahead of time. So do they sell out on the Home Shopping Network? Or are you allowed to?
That's always the goal.
Okay, that's a good thing. Okay, I'm like, are you allowed to sell out, or you just gotta keep cranking?
That's different than at the market.
Yeah.
You can't sell out early at the market.
Right. And when I grew up, Home Shopping Network was, you watched it on TV. It's amazing now. It's a different. Their shoppers. They shop differently these days, so they are able to shop anytime on their tablet. So once I have an appearance, that appearance lives on their website next to my product. And their customer, they call her she, because it's a woman aged 45 to 50 with 2.5 kids she's almost an empty nester, and she loves to treat herself and she loves to buy gifts for others. And she likes to shop when she's at home, working from home. She likes to shop on her tablet. She likes to scroll. So it's not like it used to be where you would phone in and watch. It's a very different experience. So in the olden days, you'd have an appearance and all the sales would happen right then.
Right.
Now it's continuous.
Oh, okay. Cool. Love that.
Did not get that exactly.
And do you fulfill those orders yourself, or do those then go to HSN and then they distribute them? Because I was kind of looking and I was like confused by the shipping, just because I'm not 45 to 50 with 2.5
Perhaps
kids.
because you're not that avatar,
I don't shop
Justine.
on my tablet, so I didn't understand
non-avatar
the medium.
people shouldn't be trying to understand these things.
Like, I buy my cookies at the market. That's the avatar that I am.
Everything is done in-house the way we always create our phenomenal product. So
cool.
Everything is done in-house. They field the orders through their platform and then send us the orders, the fulfillment basically. So,
well, that's good though, because you're not taking a chance then on somebody. I know you're hyper vigilant about having that packaging tape on straight and it being an exciting unboxing experience.
The bow
and
is
all
perfect.
Those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this tracks for Maya
bows.
that she would never let someone else package her items.
Yeah, it would be unnerving, I think, for you to have somebody else shipping and having to wonder, is that going out looking as beautiful as it does when your team does it?
Right. And I'm sure there are vendors that do that, but for our product, it's, we're a small business, so we do all of that in-house.
Yeah, that's so great for you though. And honestly, so if you started in April, so you haven't even done a holiday season with them yet. I'm just really excited for what the holiday season is going to be for you guys. Excited
really
and nervous.
Yeah, because that
I'm
avatar
excited.
Missed some gatherings during the holidays the last few years, and now
she
she's
needs
ready
to
bring some goodies to the holiday.
She wants
gatherings.
to brighten everyone's holiday
That's
season.
Right. It's going to be a big one this year. I know that.
That's so awesome.
Oh, I love that.
So we saw a little clip of your product on Home Shopping Network, and it appeared to us that the very excited host was talking about how delicious they were as they dunked them into milk.
Dairy
being
milk.
that you're a vegan cookie, we were just kind of wondering, was it as it appeared to be, cow's milk? And
was
did that
it
make any
soy?
sense? And did you cringe, or was it in the contract earlier that was going to be oat milk she was dunking into? Or we need to, this is when we're really talking about spilling the tea. We want to know what happened there.
Spill the milk.
Spill the
Spill
milk.
the milk. That's right, spill the milk.
It was oat milk.
Oh, good.
Oh, of course.
I'm so relieved. So relieved. Okay, I'm glad we got that covered.
We're like, oh no, she's not getting.
She was
the
like,
vegan.
these don't taste
don't
vegan at
dunk
all.
that.
And we were like, well, maybe because you're dunking it in whole milk right now. But it's good to know it was oat milk.
It is. Okay, we feel better now.
She was very excited. And you looked fabulous also.
Yeah.
I think we were going to ask you how you get so camera ready, although that's not a secret because you're camera ready right now. You're camera ready when you're on TV. You're
She's
camera ready at the market.
Like 5 a.m. at the market.
But do they give you hair and makeup? Is that part of the whole deal on HSN?
Thank you, by the way. I have my...
So modest.
I see the value of being polished, and I provide my own hair and makeup. It's not a requirement, but I personally like to have my hair and makeup done if I'm going to be on national TV in front of 800 or 8 million viewers, because I want to, present well. I don't know if other people would want to do that, nor do they have to. But for me personally, I always feel my best when I have my hair and makeup professionally done if I'm going to do something like that. And I'm owning that because I am 53 years old and I can do what I want.
Also, you're the avatar.
She is she.
She is she.
Exactly.
She's looking fabulous all the time.
Yes. But I will tell you, it's so with that, they do remember I said there's an on-set coach or team, and what they basically do these days with COVID is it's done at your home. So even if it's, Wolfgang Puck on Home Shopping Network, he's in his kitchen, and the on-air set team helps you set up that background basically. And it's very detail oriented. So all of that has to get approved before you can go on air, obviously, because everyone wants the outcome to be the best and make sure there's no conflicts of brands or anything in the background is what I'm assuming. But
that makes
definitely
sense.
Yeah. So it's all in your own space, and it's Skype.
Oh, yeah, because I noticed it was a split screen, but I didn't know if you were at like some local studio that they had and the host was just somewhere else. But that's
Or an undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location.
Maya's kitchen is just that clean. Yeah. Which is, of course it is.
Of course it is.
That was my home kitchen.
It looked great, though.
Beautiful tile.
Looked great, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, great tile.
Well, we are so happy for you for Home Shopping Network, and we are also so excited for you because you just opened a new location. You just opened your second brick and mortar, and we're just blown away. So now we want you to spill the tea about your new location. Where is it? How'd you find it? What's the story behind your new spot?
New spot is in San Marcos, California, which is a small town north of San Diego, which you guys know because you live in San Diego. It's freeway close. It's right at the university, which is California State University, San Marcos, which used to be a commuter school, but they decided to invest in nice student housing. So there's brand new student housing above us. And it's all retail and shopping below. So we have a nice population of students that live on campus now, right above our store. It's freeway close. We get a lot of customers from Los Angeles, from Riverside counties. So I was looking for a location that was accessible to those customers that travel all the way down to central San Diego. So we could be a little bit closer for them. Also, I mean, students love to eat, love to snack. So I'm hoping school starts in a few weeks. I'm hoping those students will find their way, will smell the cookies, find their way into Maya's Cookies. And this location presented itself. It checked off a lot of boxes for me. And I took the dive, and here we are a year later, open. So I didn't expect it to happen this fast, but the opportunity presented itself. I had to jump in. It checked off all the boxes, and we're loving it.
That's so awesome. And I think that it's like, one, brilliant that you positioned yourself around, a university where young kids, especially, this new generation, they're definitely plant-based curious. Mm-hmm. And I think that just with your brand, the way that it looks, it really fits. And also we've always been amazed at how you've pulled together such an incredible team of employees, of these like really smart, ambitious young people. And so it sounds like you have a whole new employee pool to draw from as well.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah,
I like
smart.
That.
Yes. So for the first month of this new location, I basically transferred my current staff because they're experienced. They know how to run Maya's Cookies. So I transferred them all here to get it open, knowing that I was going to hire from the student pool once students were back in school. So with that being said, I definitely tapped into some of the student groups on campus. I touched base with the Black Student Union. I touched base with the Women's Studies Union, or whatever it's called, and the LGBTQ community. So that's who I wanted to try to pull employees from, and that's where we have our first round of new applicants coming in for their orientation next week, actually. And
that's exciting.
That's great.
Yes, an incredible group of students that are hungry and eager, because I think it's not just learning to work and serve cookies. I want to teach them lots of things beyond that, skills that they can take with them moving forward in whatever they choose to do in life.
How lucky are those kids? It's
know,
like a business class, but you're getting paid because you're working there, and then you get to eat a cookie when you leave. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Do you get pretty good response from those kind of platforms? Asking for a friend, meaning me and every other market person, vendor, or manager that's trying to hire right now and trying to figure out where you actually post an ad that gets response.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. So since I come from an underserved background, I recognize that those students that are here on campus that are part of those groups possibly are a marginalized population or coming from underserved. And I don't know how to say this the proper way, but I want to show them, I want them to see representation, and I want to show them mentorship and leadership, because a lot of times those marginalized groups don't have access to that. So that's why I specifically go there, because I want them to see a strong brown woman. I want them to see a Black woman that looks like them. I want them to see someone who came from an underserved community too. I want them to see someone who is an empath. I want them to also see someone that's an empath, that just because I'm kind and nice doesn't mean I don't know how to stand up for myself or run a business or, be firm when needed. You can do both. So I want to show all that. So with that being said, I do hire from groups such as that. And you've commented that I seem to have great people working for me, and I will second that. Everyone has good character and they're hardworking. And every now and then there's someone who doesn't fit those things, and they weed themselves out, because when you're surrounded by a bunch of people that are driven, have great character, who are friendly and nice, and you're not, and you're coming in trying to be toxic, it's not going to work. So luckily, the few times where we have had those encounters, they don't fit in. So they choose to leave, basically.
So it's a 2-for-1 working there. You get a paycheck and you get a role model.
Yeah,
pretty
and
amazing.
Cookies.
And cookies.
That's a 3-for. That's a 3-for-1.
Jackpot.
Yeah. Is it student housing? Do they have like meal cards? Is it dorm student housing? Like, is Maya Cookies on their meal card?
Not yet,
but
be
very nice.
Something in the works. I am in the process of registering with this university. We are registered with several of the other universities around San Diego as a vendor, which means we get orders constantly whenever any of the university's different groups need cookies for something. So I would like to tell any other listeners that happen to be vendors such as myself, if there's a university in your town, maybe take the steps to register or present some samples to them and let them know you're there, because they're looking for local small brands to support as well. And you just have to register with their university, and we get orders constantly. It's a nice revenue stream. And we're in San Diego. There's several universities here, so we're registered in most of them.
And another thing that is so awesome about your staff is that you do a lot of cross-training, right? I remember you talking a couple of years ago at our conference about how a lot of people started out as dishwashers, and then they kind of work their way up and do different things in the kitchen, and then they'll work the retail side of it. With this new crop of employees, are you planning on pulling any of them into your market team, or how do you cross-train now that you're expanding and your business is kind of taking on all of these different tentacles?
Well, I will be looking for, as they are onboarded and are working, everyone's going to learn how to do everything at this retail store, but I definitely am looking to identify employees that want to learn other aspects of the business and who may fit into marketing, or who maybe they want to do sales. And, there's a corporate sales platform here at Maya's Cookies that so I will be looking and identifying and making that clear that there's room to learn other parts of the business if they're interested. So yes, that's part of my plan.
That's awesome. Is your plan to do more retail locations? I know you've taken in an investor this last year, and we're going to talk about that next, but is part of your expansion plan to do more brick and mortar?
It is. And that was not my plan 2 years ago, Kat. But I evolve with the business, and it is my plan to open more locations. And I do not have an investor. I have an advisor.
Oh,
but I know we're going to talk about that.
All right.
All right.
Well, that is a difference.
We're going to have Maya's Cookies franchise.
I think I've been reading articles that maybe are not identifying this exactly accurately. So let's talk more about that.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. That's
the real
right.
scoop.
We spilled the milk here on Tent Talk.
The oat milk.
The oat milk. We spilled the oat milk. Absolutely. So when you talk about more brick and mortars, will those all be in San Diego, or are you looking at kind of, you're going to have shops in LA or Brooklyn, or where are you heading off to?
Yeah, I've identified some regions that are of interest to me, and I'm going out and exploring right now. I just spent some time in New York, and that was interesting. I don't think that we have the capacity to be able to be that far yet. So for that reason, I am focusing more on the Southwest region. So Los Angeles is the logical next step, because it's close enough where we can, get it off the ground and manage it until we get all of our systems in place. So it's just rinse and repeat as we move on. But also, Austin is interesting to me. Las Vegas is interesting to me.
I bet you have
Bay
a built-in
Area.
market in Arizona, actually, because we get so many zonies. We get those folks from Phoenix and Scottsdale that are spending the summer in San Diego and finding you at the farmer's market. I bet they would love their own shop there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there was I remember when we talked to Libby from Kula, I think it was Van Leeuwen ice cream or some vegan ice cream started in Austin.
Oh.
Oh, that was not a moo.
Not a moo.
No.
That's what it was.
I like that.
They're
name.
friends of ours.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so we had heard, and maybe we're just not
Yes.
paying attention to details, that you had a big new investor. Now I hear advisor. He's an ex-NBA, current NBA guy. Who's
He's
with you
an
now?
It's John Sally. Any listeners that follow basketball will know that he's one of the bad boys, and his nickname is the Spider. He's someone who is a phenomenal business person, heart of gold, one of the hardest working people, one of the funniest people I've ever met, and just he's unique. Let's put it that way. So,
Does he still
yes,
play?
it's John Sally. No. He
No,
played. He's part of. Kat, you must not follow basketball.
I don't.
Can I
I'm not a
accurately
good
guess
sports.
that?
I won't. No, sorry, not a good.
Please educate us.
Not very sports. Well, I
You do have
find-
great shoes.
I do have great shoes because I have grandchildren that are all football players, and actually a couple of them play some basketball.
Yes.
So they're sneakerheads. I do have good shoes. I don't outside of elementary and high school, and now that one of them's in college. Outside of those, I don't actually follow pro sports. So
And you
No
are, no
problem.
offense, a little vertically challenged. So maybe
You
not.
didn't really
I'm a
play
shortest
any.
person, so I do like basketball. Though I actually understand basketball,
Okay.
unlike football. So
Yeah.
Play it.
And Kat, I did not mean to say that in a negative way. It was. I did not.
Don't
So
mind,
you're not
don't
cool.
mind.
You're
I
not
like
cool
knowing
at all.
about all kinds of things. It's all right. I can keep up. So he's retired. Where did he play?
He played for the Detroit Pistons. That was his main team where he was part of the Bad Boys.
Oh, I was going
It
to say,
the-
I watched that Chicago Bulls, The Last Dance.
yes.
So good.
Uh-huh.
And so now
Yes.
that I know that he was a Piston, that connects some dots for me.
He pulls it all together.
Yes, he was part of that whole era, and he was definitely in that documentary. It was about the Bad Boys and Michael Jordan.
I'm going to have to watch
So
that
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
he
might watch that.
and
That would
again. It's
interest
really
me.
good.
and he's a vegan. Is that the?
And he's a vegan,
So
yeah.
I'll tell you a little bit about how this all came to be.
Okay.
So I identified John Sally years ago, way back in 2015, 16, when I was starting as part of my overall business plan. So I identified him because he is prominent in the vegan space. He's been vegan for years before it was cool or trendy. He's also a very smart business person. He's involved in a lot of brands across all, from ed tech to food and bev. He has his hands in lots of different successful brands. He is a very well-liked person. He's an actor. He's been on, TV. He's been on the big screen, small screen. So he's just very versatile. And a main thing for me is he has 3 daughters, one of which he has a business with. So I recognize that he respects women and he's not intimidated by women that can be strong. And he's also Black like me. So, for those reasons, I identified him as someone that I thought would help Maya's Cookies. So way back then, I was sending him DMs saying, "Hi, I'm Maya from Maya's Cookies. You should try my product," because how else do I have access to him, right? But of course, like I said earlier, everything I do is very intentional, very well thought out. So all the little steps I've been taking across all these years were leading up to be able to have an opportunity to have someone like him come on board. So once I got 2 degrees away from him, 2 degrees of separation, I asked this mutual business contact for an introduction. The mutual business contact said, "I don't usually do this sort of thing, but I believe in your brand, so I'm going to do it." Made the contact, and we took it from there. John and I, we had discussions and talked about our goals and my brand and what I wanted to do and how he could help and all the things. And then we negotiated an advisory role. So he is an advisor of Maya's Cookies. I still own 100% of Maya's Cookies. John is an advisor. He is a sounding board. He's a mentor. He's amazing. And I'm so grateful that he agreed to help me out with my brand, because just having him as part of Maya's Cookies, he's already giving me so much sound advice and helped me. He's media trained, so he's helped me with that. I mean, that's, how expensive that is. So just having someone who, he's introduced me to people. He's very, he's just an amazing business person, amazing human. And I am so grateful and happy to have him on our team.
That's really exciting. And it sounds like you really did a good job of making sure that you found somebody that was mission aligned with you and that would have so many things in common. I have to tell you, we're always talking about for our conference who our bucket list kind of speakers are. And one of the things I'm always chasing is people like Stacy from Stacy's Pita, because she started in farmers markets and now she has this big consumer brand. And Bruce Idell, who started at the Ferry Plaza Farmers Market, and now there are sausages everywhere. Not to go off the vegan track here, but, big names in consumer retail CPG food products that started in farmers markets. And now I'm really excited to be able to say that we can stay right here at home and get one of those big, fancy consumer products that started at farmers markets right here in our own backyard with our kind of fourth podcast co-host that we've known from the beginning. And it's going to be exciting to have you at the conference.
Aw, thank you, Kat. I didn't know you were talking about me. I was like, who is it? Can't
wait to hear it. We might have some others, too. We're still working on Michelle Obama, so if you have a connection, let me know.
I was sitting on pins and needles. I was like, ooh.
we might have some other big names as well, but I'm pretty excited to say that you've become part of our bucket list, because I think starting in markets and building a business as intelligently and purposefully as you have, and still maintaining that quality and watching out for all those details, is an impressive thing, and we're so proud and impressed.
Thank you, Kat. It's you know what, we're laughing and I'm smiling and I'm trying to look cute right now, but it is hard ASS work. I just had a meltdown yesterday, as a matter of fact, in our all hands Zoom meeting. So I'm human. It's hard work, but thank you for your continued support always.
No, you do work hard, and that's probably the secret to your success. You keep working hard.
And it sounds like, too, I mean, every time we talk to you and we get like an update on what you're doing and your life and all the incredible stuff besides all the cool stuff that you're constantly churning out, I'm always blown away on all the hard work you did 7 years ago when you were even like workshopping Maya's Cookies. And obviously the day-to-day is difficult and challenging, but like just your planning and also how big you think and how like you are a data person and you're always taking notes, but it sounds like you're just a huge dreamer too. And like the fact that you were putting things in your business plan that are now coming to fruition is just like mind-blowing to me.
You had that trendy avoiding limited belief things before it was so cool.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Justine, because when I was thinking of notes for this podcast, I wanted to bring that up, if you don't mind.
No, please.
So I remember thinking big from the get-go, and you know that, Kat, because I mentioned it to you. And so many people tried to discourage me from thinking that big, including the health department when I was calling to get my permits. They were like, no, that permit is too big. You need to get the cottage food. And I just remember having to like convince him, no, I want the big permit, please. I have plans. Give me the giant permit. I have plans. I'm going to grow into it. So I've been thinking that way from the start. And I think that's what maybe sets my brand apart. And I'm not saying that to be vain or anything like that. I'm trying to be frank because I know other vendors are listening to this, but I was thinking big from the get-go. Yes, I'm a farmer's market vendor, but there's so many other things that you can do with your brand and your business. So I want people to reach for those goals and think bigger. You don't have to be stuck in a box because other people are telling you that's the only way to go. You need to think big, think outside of what you're doing, if that's your goal. That was my goal. And I get asked that question all the time. How did you do this? How did you do that? And I said, I was thinking big from the start and taking those little steps to get there. It wasn't something that I, decided on last year. You know what? I want to be on Home Shopping Network. I purposefully have built my brand and built the product, and once we were able to afford nicer packaging and all of the things, this was all so that I can get to the place where maybe Home Shopping Network would find me, or maybe a buyer from a major retail, even though we're not in grocery, would find me. So I want to tell people to think big and start taking those steps right from the get-go.
I like it. So what's next for Maya's Cookies? That's a good point. You're not in groceries. You're a huge online brand and direct-to-consumer all the way across. Is grocery stores part of the long-term plan? Is that something coming up?
It is. Yep, it sure is. But I'm taking the steps to differentiate myself and my product, because grocery is a whole different ballgame. I'm also educating myself on all the things grocery. I listen to podcasts, I read books, I'm studying the marketplace, I go to grocery stores to see what's out there. So I would tell people, do the same thing. And it's hard work, but it's going to give you a better snapshot on what's out there and so that you're prepared if an opportunity presents itself. And people, they ask me these questions, and it's just, you have to educate yourself and put yourself out there and learn what's going on in your space. And when I say your space, whether it's food and bev, maybe it's ed tech, maybe it's, jewelry, whatever it is, I'm always looking at my competition. Just like you, Kat, when I travel, first thing I do is look up the farmers markets. And I love when I visit towns and farmers markets that you've had as guests on the podcast. So that's always fun for me. And I always go to their grocery stores and see what products are out there in my space, in the cookie and bakery space, so I can see what's not there.
Yeah.
I want to be something that's not on the shelves.
I do that too. My favorite places to go when I travel are the stores. Farmers markets and grocery stores. I want to see how grocery stores look. Not the big box ones, but the especially the stores that have some local and that are, doing things to dig into what's going on in their area. So 7 years ago, you wanted to be the Qualcomm of cookies, which I think you've certainly achieved, and be on Home Shopping Network. Where do you want to be 7 years from now? What's on your big list right now?
7 years from now, I definitely want to be a bigger brand. I want this next gen that are working for Maya's Cookies to grow into more executive levels and have more skin in the game with Maya's Cookies. And I say that because, one of the employees I have now is going off to college, and she decided she's going to study food science from working here. So, I want my team I want to grow. I want to be the Black vegan Mrs. Fields. How about that?
All right. I like
Love
that.
it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep, I like that one.
I like it.
All right.
Cool.
Well, we'll have you back on our 1000th episode.
We will for sure. Although I'm sure we'll see you quite a few times between now and then, and including at the conference. We're excited to have you at Intense this year.
I'm excited.
All right.
I can't wait.
That's right. So black out that date on your Home Shopping Network calendar.
Yeah, they better not
You can't
interrupt.
be there. You say, I got to be on the stage at Intense.
Much more important.
Thank you for reminding me.
That's
yes,
right.
I'll black out that date.
All right. Absolutely. Anything else you want to tell us that we didn't ask?
Let me think about this. Well, we have some exciting new offerings for holiday season. I can't say what it is, but I just want you to stay tuned. We blew it out of the water for this 2022 holiday.
Oh, I'm excited.
I cannot wait to launch. Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
You're going to love it, Kat.
Oh, good.
This is your reminder. This episode is coming out during Virgo season because Maya is our favorite Virgo.
Thank
if you think that you don't have to get ready for the holiday season yet, know that you should already be planning that, and that should already be in production.
Take a lesson from Maya and plan ahead.
Right. Get on it. If you're listening to this now and you haven't made plans for the holidays, you're already a little bit behind. Jump in there.
And we're talking to vendors and we're talking to market managers. A plan is a plan. Get going.
That's right.
It's September. Time to hit the ground running.
Thank you so much for being with us, as always.
You are so welcome. I always have fun with my girls.
That's right.
We love our fourth host
That's
so
right.
much.
Let's do this more often. Let's get together and have an unedited conversation.
Over some oat milk, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Oat milk and cookies.
That's right.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Maya.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Thanks for listening today, and big thanks to Square for helping farmers market participants and managers increase their income and reduce their stress, and for supporting Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast. To sign up for easy credit card processing on-site at markets, simple invoicing back at your desk, and loans to close seasonal gaps, just click the Square logo on the resource page at farmersmarketpros.com.
Farmers markets are all about connection, and all of us, operators, farmers, and vendors, keep learning. Connect with people just like you from various parts of the country and share what's happening in your area in the terrific conversations over in our private Facebook group, the Farmers Market Pros Community. If you're actively involved in a farmers market, please find us there, answer the 3 qualifying questions, and join the group. You can also message us on Instagram at Farmers Market Pros or email us at connect@farmersmarketpros.com. If you're looking for further education, check out our online course offerings at farmersmarketpros.com. Thanks for listening to Tent Talk. Please leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you access your podcasts, and tell us and others how you're enjoying Tent Talk. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss the next episode. Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast, is proudly produced by Farmers Market Pros, where passion meets profit. Today's episode was recorded and edited by Justine Marzoni Mead. Original music by David Mead. Thank you so much for listening today, and we'll have another great episode next week, so tune in.